Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome from Broadfield Stadium. Sky Bet League 2 action here this afternoon for Crawley versus Forest Green Rovers. Crawley looking to follow up the point that they got here against Walsall on Tuesday evening. As per usual, full match commentary on iFollow with Tony and myself, and Tony's coming in to join me now just to preview today's game. Afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, Gary.
Afternoon. Good to have you back. I know you missed Tuesday. Obviously, you didn't see the highlights, but a draw was the very least that Crawley deserved on Tuesday, certainly for the second half performance. Liam Kelly getting the goal, Jeremy Kelly winning a lot of plaudits as well for the way that he played on Tuesday. We just focus on today though. This is going to be a very, very difficult encounter, is it? People might look at the league positions and think that maybe this should be a home banker for Crawley, but it's going to be anything but.
Yeah, it is. We've always said there's no easy games in this league, and they're battling for survival like we were this time last season. So they will probably be happy to go away with what they came with. Might not be too expansive going forward, and then if they get their noses in front, then they'll probably decamp and just let us try and break them down. And goals have dried up a little bit for us in recent games. So, like you say, got a new manager again as well, similar to Salford a few weeks ago. Steve Cottrell, again, knows the league, been around a long time. So yeah, it's going to be a tough day.
You touched on it there, that they're in exactly the same position as Crawley were last season. They had a great victory at Barrow on Tuesday night that's lifted them off the bottom of the table. They'll come into this one very positive, Forest Green. Their away form is quite good recently, I believe. Do you think that could sort of play into Crawley's favour though, that Scott Lindsay can get the message across about exactly what Forest Green are going through at the moment, having gone through it himself last season? Yeah,
I think it's probably an easy sell for Scott in terms of what pressures Forest Green are going to be under, and the type of result they're going to look for from today's game, coming away from home in your kind of league position Forest Green are in. You want to go back with at least what you came with, and they'll probably set up accordingly. And I don't see them coming out and coming at us. They'll probably sit back, let us try and break them down, hit us on the break, and if they get the noses in front, then decamp even more potentially.
There's a lot of talk, I've read some of the forums today and stuff on Twitter about what the Crawley lineup may potentially be. Like I said, Jeremy Kelly, 70 minutes on Tuesday. I think he'll still start today, but there's a clamour for Jack Rolls to come back into the starting 11. Maybe playing in sort of one of the wider roles to push Jeremy Kelly forward more in support of Orsey, because Orsey, yes, he plays that lone striker role and he plays it very, very well. But what Ken and I noticed last week at Crewe was that Lollos and Campbell maybe not getting forward quickly enough, and on Tuesday night it was Lollos and Darcy not getting forward quickly enough. And if you're going to play with that lone striker, then the support has to be there. So it might be that Kelly gets nudged further forward, bumped further forward, I think is the expression that Scott likes to use, to try and play as a bit more of a supporting striker.
Yeah, as we were saying before, the goals have dried up. Also started superbly the first two games in January.
Yeah.
Now, nothing since. So he's like I say, feeling a bit isolated, not scoring goals. Confidence might have waned a little bit. So he certainly needs some support there. And as you say, if we're going to play the shape that we play and the formation that we play, then whether it's Lollos or Campbell or the new Kelly that have got that role, we've got to make the effort to get in touch with him. Through clear balls. To be fair, from my own view, I think he doesn't hold the ball up as well as he probably could do. So partly he's got his own responsibility from that respect, that players can only get forward if you give him time to get into it. So you've got to get your body in. His first touch has got to be good. And from the recent home games that I've seen, it's gone back too quickly. And we haven't got the time to get in contact with him. So he's got his own responsibility for that, in that respect as well.
We always used to talk about the home form being great. It used to be home form was great, away form wasn't so good, and that's been a little bit reversed recently, because prior to Tuesday it was 4 defeats in the last 5 at home. Tuesday was the first home draw of the season, but I think Crawley will surely be looking at this, won't they, as a great possibility for 3 points today, as tough as we've said it is going to be. And then 4 points out of the 6 for the 2 home games. Would Scott be happy with that as a return?
Relatively, possibly not, because of the results in the previous games. You always be looking for 6 out of 6 because they're still got the chance of, if we go on a run, the possibility's still there. We're 7 points away from the playoff space, with the game in hand. put 2 or 3, 4 good results together, then you're back in there and thereabouts.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get into the territory of you don't have such good results next 2 or 3 games, and then you're into nothing to play for territory for the rest of the season. So I think the next 2 or 3 games are vital in terms of that perspective. Also Rans or still in the hunt.
And after today, it is 2 tough away games, isn't it? AFC Wimbledon, the rearranged game on Tuesday evening, which is a tough place to go at the best of times.
Yeah.
Tough at the moment because they're still buzzing around the playoffs. And a long journey again next week to go to Accrington, who'll be looking for a little bit of retribution after the think they suffered down here. So I think imperative that Crawley gets something from today before going into those 2 away games.
Yeah. 3 points I think is imperative.
Yeah.
But as you've just been saying, the recent home form, draw Tuesday night, we were focused for 3, and the season is fast coming to its close, and you just don't want to be playing games with nothing on it.
Therefore, if 3 points are imperative today, what's your prediction for what might happen come 5 o'clock?
I think it'll be a tight game, 2-1.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say as well. 2-1. Crawley not great at keeping clean sheets, either here or on the road. Doige and Stevens, who you would imagine will be the forward line for Forest Green this afternoon. A lot of experience, a lot of goals between them. You anticipate, or we obviously both anticipate, that they'll get something from the game. I think it's vital that Crawley combat that, and if they are going to get something, it can only really be a consolation.
Yes.
And that Crawley have maybe sort of got the game wrapped up before that stage, being 2-0 in front, or maybe even 3-0 in front.
Yeah. And then I guess Scott's thrown a bit of criticism in that respect in terms of when we do get our noses in front, we don't let go on and win the game and continue with a positive. We tend to sit back a little bit and let teams come on to us, and then they get something out of it. And I think he will be looking for that if we do get our noses in front to go on and win the game.
Well, you can join Tony and I, as per usual, on iFollow from 10 to 3 this afternoon. And as I always say, if you can't get on the iFollow, make sure you get tuned into BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Just after 2 o'clock with Adrian Harms presenting this afternoon. There will be team news, previews and updates throughout the course of the afternoon. If you want to make any comment about the video, then like, comment or subscribe to the channel. Tony and I regularly do this at home games. Just a little bit of a preview, so if you want to get in touch, feel free to do so as well at GTS Sport on Twitter or gts.sport@yahoo.co.uk. It's starting to drizzle just a wee bit. It's going to make for a fast, zippy surface. Could be an entertaining one here at the Broadfield this afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff for Crawley Town against Forest Green Rovers.